I'm sitting in here with Santana Dempsey.
Perfect.
How are you? Thanks for coming on the platform.
Of course. I'm really honored that you invited me. So thanks for having me.
We're going to jump into some cool stuff.
Okay.
I'm going to jump right into, we had a conversation. You were adopted as a child.
Yep.
Talk to me about that.
So I was actually adopted with my biological younger sister out of foster care. So I was in foster care for 3 years. So then we were put up for adoption. And, adopting two girls, at that point I was 6, my younger sister was 4, and we were brown in Missouri. That's hard. Okay. I would not be able to be on this earth if my sister and I did not stay together. Yeah. And I say that wholeheartedly.
And who was the family that adopted you? Are you still close with them?
Yeah, my parents. Okay, yes, I call them my parents.
Okay.
And yeah. I mean, I've versed people on adoption, but yet they are my parents. That's what I call them. Not my adopted parents. They are my parents. They're the only ones that I know, and who have stayed and loved me. And I am the woman I am so much because of them. So they were a white couple in the Midwest near the Kansas City, Missouri area. Yeah. Lawyers, young lawyers, and they couldn't have kids. And at that point, I was the type of little girl that had gone through so much. I basically was the provider for my younger sister. I was like the mom. Yeah. At a young age, and I had seen a lot. And so I just remember thinking in my head, when I met these people, I've got to do everything I can for them to like me. Because if they don't like me, they're not going to adopt us, and we're not going to have parents. They're going to leave. Yeah. And that, has been something it's carried with me in my life. Having, your birth parents at such a young age not ultimately want you really does something to a child. But my parents are great. They, we met. We each had our own stuff where we were coming from. But they said yes. And so they adopted both myself and my sister. And we were a family from the beginning. There were issues, but it wasn't so much about them not loving us or us not loving them. It was more society. It was more being raised in a small town in Missouri with white parents and these multiracial children.
What was it like in school?
So I remember being at this pool with friends that I thought were friends. And I come inside to go to the bathroom, and I hear the mom of the friends and the grandma. They were inside doing something. And before I was opening the door, I hear the grandma say something to the effect of, "So who's that little N-word girl swimming in our pool?" And I didn't know, obviously, what it exactly was, but I knew that it was bad. Yeah. I knew that it was ugly. Yeah. And that it was me. And that these people were saying this about me, and I did not want to be that. What's on my birth certificate is white. Yeah. My birth mom was white, birth father wasn't around. Yeah. I'm pretty, white. I mean, my hair gives it away sometimes, but I'm not, I am light-skinned. But I am of color. Yeah, of course. Depending on whose lens is looking at me, right. I can be many things. I can be Jewish, Sephardic Jew. I can be Filipina. I can be Puerto Rican.
It's hard for you to find the place.
Yeah. And the thing is, when you are multiracial, there isn't a place. I can be and move within many different worlds. Yeah. It's one of my superpowers. But it also does make me feel, not anymore, I've really accepted it, but growing up as an outsider.
So let's talk about where we're going now. So you're in LA, you're acting, you're writing, painting.
I lived in New York for about 8 years, and then I've been out here for a chunk of time for about 10 or so. So my entire adult life, I've only lived in New York and LA. So I got out of the Midwest as soon as I could. And I'm acting, hustling like many of us. I'm not really a character actor. To me, I am an actor. Yeah. But I get pigeonholed as that because I am hard to categorize.
For anybody watching that any of your story resonated with and that's struggling, then that's feels in the darkness, what advice would you have for them to navigate their way?
To know that you are enough, that you are so worthy of love, support, and to be cared for. To remind yourself of your little girl your little boy, your little self, and to talk to them and to protect them, to move as if you were their big brother or sister in the world. But ultimately, deeply, deeply, deeply know you are so loved.